What separates the good from the great? They said that the great ones are the ones who don't get bored when they come in and do the same thing every single day. Those little refinements just keep trying to improve on the same thing every single day. That's what separates the good from the great when it comes to the Olympic levels. It's the same thing for drumming. Like if you are just sitting there and you are trying to work on paradiddles like you might for this particular exercise, and you're willing to work on that for months or years, that's going to separate you from the people who like try it just a couple times and don't actually like focus on it over an extended period of time. Find ways to get comfortable and even enjoy the grind, the process. That will pay off dividends, not just with your drumming, but with anything in life. If you can figure out how to enjoy the process rather than the end result, then you will go extremely far in life.
One tip that I highly recommend if you're preparing for an audition is to practice as soon as you wake up, whatever the hardest thing it is that you have to play. And the reason why is because when you actually go to an audition camp, like if you're flying out to audition for like a drum corps or something, you are odds are not going to have the best sleep because you're probably going to be up like staying late, up drumming with people and whatnot. So when you actually get there and you start performing, you're not going to be at your best mentally. So it's really good to practice what it's like when you're at your worst. So if you wake up as soon as you do, as long as it's not going to annoy anyone else in your house or around you, just start practicing the hardest thing you can as if you're at the audition. So I highly recommend simulating whatever the environment is going to be like in the worst case scenario when you are practicing for an audition. So that way, when you actually get there, you'll be like, I'm prepared for this, as opposed to going, oh wow, I'm really tired, I'm not going to do well. Instead, what you do is go, okay, I'm really tired, but I've already prepared myself for this by practicing while being really tired, i.e. when you just woke up, or even like right before you go to bed. So a little pro tip for you. So here's an example of a modulation that you can do when you're drumming. So you can just start off with double strokes. And you slow one down. And then it turns into Swisses. And then it goes back into doubles. Pretty neat. You can also do it with like threes. And then it eventually turns into flam taps. And then it goes back into threes. I haven't done it in a while, but that's the basic idea. So have fun trying that one out. I like to end my sessions having fun. At least for me, I think it's good to do that for practicing. Because otherwise, if all you do is just like refine, and you never go back and like just do something that you actually really enjoy doing, then you're eventually going to kind of like train yourself to hate practicing. I personally like to just chop out when I'm done practicing for the day. So I worked on my accents and taps today. It sounds significantly better, and I was able to improve some things. You may have heard that if you actually watched the full stream or are watching the full video after the fact. But now I'm going to play some chops. Crashing and burning with 130. Ew. Crushed. You know, honestly, I thought it was going to go worse than that. Win. When I was younger and I first started and I had really bad technique, I got tendonitis. I got a popped vein in here, like this turned all purple and black. Let's see, I had my elbow inflate to like twice the size. It was like bursitis or something, just basically fluid built up in there. For all of those things, and I was like, you know, I really like drumming, but these injuries are kind of preventing me from doing that. Started massaging, stretching, even icing, especially if you're on tour. Like, it's good to ice the forearms, just to kind of like help them get rid of that inflammation. Because if you're drumming like 10, 12 hours a day, you're just going to do a lot of damage if you don't take care of it. Ask me how I know. Whenever I'm working on these stick control variations, like whether it's fast or slow, my goal is to make it all sound monotone. So it should sound like just one hand playing the entire time, as opposed to like something like that. We don't want it to sound that way. We want it to sound nice and smooth and even. So it's really difficult to do that. Now, some fun variations that you can do is you can actually play this like entirely with your feet, or you can be like, all right, all the right hands I'm going to play with my right hand, and then all my left hands that are written on that screen, I'm actually going to play with my foot. And so you can play it on the drum kit, something like that. So lots of cool things you can do with these variations, all 4 of them that are on my website and that are free to use. I swear I know what I'm doing. Sharing all the mistakes. so the hard part about alternating flams is technically grace and primary notes just at tap height. So we don't want double stop. We want to have right hand, left hand flam. There's a tendency when doing this one to just make everything like all the same height. So it's hard to get those accents in there. While getting alternating flams and not double stops. Although I guess with bass drum that's more open. Because otherwise you'll have a flat flam every time just because of the way the bass drum is, because you're pushing the air and then it pushes it back on the other side. Physics. Yeah, so it's interesting that this is significantly slower than I normally play it, and yet my hands are like, no, please don't. One of the reasons why is just because like I did a workout that really like got my arms pretty sore a couple days ago, so that's going to impact my playing today. So every day when I'm playing this, it's going to be inconsistent in terms of like how fast I can actually play this before I reach my breaking point and completely chop myself out. So that's to be expected when you're practicing. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden, oh no, everything I've been working on is really bad. No, it's just part of anatomy. It happens. This is literally my first time doing this, and so hopefully this is helpful for you to see, oh, that's how Jared is thinking through this. So if you're like working on show music or something, this is what I'm thinking through, and I'm trying to narrate out loud those thought processes. So hopefully that is helpful for you. And if so, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I used to do World of Warcraft where I would play 2 tunes at the same time. So I would like multi-window or multi-box. So would have my main on the main screen and then like a smaller screen that would show my alt. And so I'd play both of them using like shift to control the alt keys and then normal to play normally. Whenever I was doing that, people would always like ask, are you a bot? I would always respond with like jokes like beep, boop, beep, beep, and just like stuff like that. And then they try and get me kicked out, but I was actually a person. I was just messing with them, so. Rudimental drummers often focus on flashy stuff like chops or visuals. Now, don't get me wrong, those are a lot of fun to practice, but they don't really help you get better. The thing that does help you get better is actually practicing technique exercises. For example, some of the exercises that are on the screen right here. Every single one of these is a free play-along that is on YouTube that has timestamps in the description that allows you to jump to whatever BPM you want, as slow as like 20 beats a minute or as fast as 200. So you can work on your rolls, your diddles, your accent taps, all sorts of things to help you improve your drumming. But another thing that can really help your drumming is working on grid variations, whether it's triplet variations or 16th note variations. We've got several hundred of them available for you for free. You can go to them at the link at the top of the screen, or if you go to my YouTube channel, under the Home tab, there is a drumming section, and when you click on this, it allows you to only see the drumming playlists that will help you with your own practicing.